So I posted a video and the microphone wasn't working. I don't know. And I was even wearing like a nice shirt and tie. Now I'm in my grungies because I just helped my brother load an engine in the back of his truck. So let's try it again, right? So, what was the point of the last video? It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I can see that my microphone is now working. It was just a button that I needed to push, I guess, on my microphone, and I didn't realize it. So this has happened to me I don't know how many times. I put up videos, no sound, because I don't double check to make sure the mic's on and whatever. Right? What are you gonna do? So I was watching the beginning of a video game. Don't ask me how. Anyway. It's called Shadow of the Colossus. Check that video out. Or the beginning of that game. You can probably find it anywhere, but the beginning of that game is really interesting, and there's a reason why I want to share it. There's fictional stories. Often we get fictional stories that are really close to the truth, and we don't even realize how true they are, right? So the beginning of this game is this kid, or this warrior, this weary traveler, is carrying his bride or his girlfriend up to this altar, and he places her on an altar, and she is dead. So he prays to the gods and says, "Hey, I want her soul to come back into her body, but I know that you guys have access to that." And then you hear this multiple voice like thing saying, "You are just a mere mortal. There's no way that you can, gather her soul from the nether realms," or I can't remember how it's phrased. It's worth watching. And but they said, but that sword on your side could potentially, if you can use it to slay the idols in your world, you might be able to bring her back. But there's always a great sacrifice for doing that. Does that sound familiar? Slaying idols to free people's souls at the detriment of yourself? Because there's always a great sacrifice to slay the idols that people believe in. If you've watched this YouTube channel, I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this video, well, hopefully you do watch this channel every once in a while. That's basically what this channel is about. Trying not to idolize the created, but worshiping the creator, that creator of us, worshiping each other's heart space. At the same time, if you're in the middle of slaying idols that other people believe in, you're not directly attacking them. You're just speaking your truth, right? That there's that we're the creators of this reality, and not, if you believe in, if you're worshiping something out there, then you will always ignore your own state of being and your creative spirit. So you'll always end up just buying into somebody else's idol, right? If you're always looking out there for your state of being instead of realizing that the only thing that matters is, reconciling with yourself and making sure that you're good and creating from a purified heart space. And so we see that. I went to church earlier today, and that's why I was wearing my shirt earlier, because my son went to homecoming dance yesterday and had helped him tie his tie, and I hadn't done that in a while. And tying someone's tie reverse and not tying it on yourself is a challenge if you've never done it before. So you have to turn it around and remember how to tie it for yourself. And I hadn't done it long enough where it was a bit of a struggle. So I put a tie on this morning and I went to church. Some messages that I got from church, and this is something that's taught in Pentecostal churches, praying in tongues. And the reason you pray in tongues is because you're bypassing this, because your heart, from the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So your spirit will speak through your mouth, and if you just speak Huda, blah blah, just whatever your spirit is coming from your mouth without audibly saying anything. A lot of times, maybe you're speaking a foreign language. It's actually ministering to their spirit unconsciously. It's all unconscious because everything comes from here and goes back to here. And so if you put it in those terms, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people poo-poo it and say, well, it doesn't mean anything. But realistically, it's speaking from the Spirit, right? Speak from the Spirit. Speak from your heart space. It could be verbal. It could be English. It could be anything. It could be whatever you feel like you need to speak. I've ran into a couple other healers that do similar things, that get downloads and speak specific noises and things that they feel like they've been guided to speak, and it's supposed to minister to your heart. So there's something I want to share there. Another thing is, it can be too easy to see the things that are happening in society and the things out there and not understand as part of a higher divine order, that there's change happening internally for all the people that are in those places, right? I mean, we have to go to hell before we can realize what heaven is. And hell is always just negative opinions of ourselves, or not believing that we can do something. Nothing that's ever existed outside of the self. Everything that you ever experienced comes from here. And then that's your creative circuit, and then it gets filtered out in your environment, and it comes back to you. And if you ever believe that it's anything but love, it's exactly the way you feel about yourself. And you might be triggering people's idols, right? So if somebody involuntarily attacks you because you're triggering an idol that they're worshiping, then that's okay. As long as you can look at it from a higher perspective and say, look, we're the creators. I'm here to serve. Right? Create a state of being within each other. And the fact that we're all equal, we're all creating our own reality. And that's how we are creating our own reality. So regardless of whether or not we realize it, we get too distracted on, games or phones or whatever. And so we're not actually creating from our heart space. The project that I'm starting right now, at the beginning, I'm building an operating agreement to reflect that, right? So to make sure that if anybody within that you're working with starts pointing the finger at somebody else, they have to be immediately reviewed by their peers. You need a mediator, right? As soon as you start pointing the finger at somebody else, you need an external mediator, because you're blaming somebody else for the way you feel. Think of it that way. Why would I blame someone else for the way I feel? If I don't understand that I create my own state of being, if I don't understand that I'm creating my own reality, then I might be pointing the finger at somebody else, a politician, or hey puppy, or anybody. It could be anybody. And so, this dog is a baby. She just wants to sit on your lap. Oh, puppies. Yeah. I'm gonna take her down to the river after this. But all of us have to learn that lesson, and it's taken me. And I'll be the first one to tell you that I was totally blind to that fact. Not only that, but the world around you is teaching about yourself. How much you're willing to sacrifice yourself for it, to lay down those false idols and those things that really don't matter. The only thing that really matters is our ability to spend time with each other and to love one another, and to cast down those things that would supposedly that really don't matter, right? The only thing that matters is that we believe in ourselves and that we have power to be healthy and to heal one another. Or 2 or 3 are gathered together and come to an agreement on something, then it will make itself manifest. So, yeah, it's that simple. I pulled an oracle card in my last video that was, I pulled the surrender card, and surrendering to people's states, without acting. You don't have to fight. We never want to fight anybody, because everybody's creating their own reality. So eventually you accept how everybody is. And there's nothing really wrong with any of us. We're all creating our own reality. And that's one of the hardest things that it's been for me personally, because I spoke out against coaching before, because in a coaching relationship, let's say I want to give you advice. Well, I would rather work with you for one thing, because I'm not going to place myself above my needs above someone else's. And there's nothing wrong with asking for advice, but placing my needs in front of somebody else's needs isn't really seeing the bigger picture, right? We all have equal needs, regardless of what state of growth we're at. So all our needs are important. And, you know, it's easier just to work together to create something, and that creation process will purify your heart and mind anyway, especially when you're treating the people around you as equals, regardless of what they're going through or not going through. Let it go, right? Because we always, if we're doing anything that we're unconsciously harming ourselves or unconsciously harming somebody else, we do it out of ignorance. So there's no reason to hold anybody, you know, liable for something they do out of ignorance. Huh, puppy? Yeah, she does. She barks at people when they come through the door. She gets mad. Huh, puppy? Yeah, because she's protective of her daddy. I don't think I need to pull anything else. I just wanted to give you guys this message for this Sunday and just encourage everybody to love yourselves unconditionally. It doesn't matter what you're doing or not doing. Just do what it is you need to do for yourself and be creative. Start a creative project. Start writing, or, you know, learning an instrument or something that makes you feel good, instead of, you know, spending too much time on the device, and, you know, spend time with other people. Don't avoid other people just because maybe they don't believe what you believe. You can always find a way to meet people halfway without causing a lot of conflict, and eventually the truth will be known, right? Because if you seek it earnestly and understand that the truth will set you free, then it will. The truth will set you free. So, love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I think my next video, I'm going to write about, maybe do a video about the seed. So, yeah. Love you guys.